viewers. Got to remember to hit record for all of the lovely people who can't make it to the live call. So, welcome to you wherever in the world you are. I am here in a very cold office. I can actually see my breath in Ireland. I have, unlike HarperCollins and Penguin, I've lit a candle before we started our gathering because that's how we rock at Womancraft. I've lit it in honor of all of the existing Womancraft team and publishers and the forthcoming Womancraft authors who are joining us here today. Maybe one of you are going to be one of the lucky ones. And what I need to say to you is, please be aware as we sit here with the great excitement of maybe that we can publish very, very few of the wonderful submissions we get. So I just want to start out just by saying that to kind of make sure that expectations are high, but not too high, because each year we get between 40 and 60 submissions when we open submissions, and we haven't opened for, I'd say, a year and a half, 2 years. So I'm aware there's a big backlog. We've got 200 people on the submissions mailing list. So it's the feeling of big responsibility to have all of these writer hearts longing to have a place for their writing to come into the world. And I know that feeling because I started out as an author myself, and Sarah knows that. I want to introduce Sarah, who is there at the top of the screen. That's Sarah Robinson, author of Yoga for Witches, Kitchen Witch. You probably know her, and she also does our social media. So without further ado, let me walk you and talk you through who we are and what we do. Okie dokie. So, Womancraft creates life-changing, paradigm-shifting books by women for women. This is myself and Sarah and our author Carly Mountain a couple of years ago at the Lancaster Witches Revival. Thank you, Sarah. Brain gone. Running our stall there where we were all teaching as well. So we were founded almost 12 years ago now on the revolutionary vision that women and words can change the world. And my goodness, are women and words needed more than ever right now. We are, as I said, based in Ireland, but most of our authors aren't Irish. Most of them are based in the UK and the US. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Next one there. So we are a lovely, diverse mix of women aged from 20 to 70, all sorts of backgrounds. And we are really committed to diversity and inclusion in our books, in reaching diverse audiences, and through our social media. And we are constantly looking to expand that diversity. The diversity we've got the best at the moment is neurodiversity. We have a number of neurodivergent authors, and I myself am autistic and ADHD. So if you think I'm coming across a bit weird, you're right. I'm officially diagnosed. So our readership includes all genders, but is predominantly women, and our books are pitched towards women primarily. A large part of what we do is we give back and we give forward. And I'll talk about that again a little bit more in a minute. So giving back, since the beginning, we have given an annual donation to Tree Sisters, which plants trees around the world, and to the UNHCR Girls Education Fund. So they are however we do each year, they get money from us, the same amount every year. So we do that. We pass on books, all of our books as ebooks through a charity called World Reader, which goes out to millions of people in less developed countries where they are passed on through education projects, schools, charities, community projects, so that our books are accessible free of charge on e-readers to all those people. We also gift books as a company to women's refuges, prisons, red tents, menstrual education programs. And then some of our individual authors also choose to give a portion of their royalties to communities who their book is about, or that the themes of the book are similar to the themes of a particular charity or charitable group. So I do that with several of my books. Gina Martin has done that with several of hers too. And then we have our compendium, which comes out each year now. We're on our third one this year, and 10% of the royalties from that are also given to charities. So we do our best to give fair royalties to our authors, and we give the best in the business. We give back to community projects that need, as a central part of what we do. So what do we publish? We publish 4 to 5 books a year. That is 4 to 5. Lots of publishers, for example, Penguin publishes about 85,000 books a year. We're not diluting the love and care that we give to each book and the personal attention that we give to each book that we would have to if we got bigger. So that leaves space. We've got about 30 authors on our books at the moment. That leaves space for about 1 new author a year. Our books are in the English language, and we can only take women who are based in the US, mainland US, UK, and Ireland. Now, I know this is something that's really disappointing for a lot of people. We get lots of emails all the time. I live in Canada, I live in Australia, I live in France. And the reality is this, that our distribution is strongest in those 3 countries. That is where we as a publisher have distributors and printers, and where we can focus our time and energy getting books to not only you, the author, but also to stockists near you. Whereas if we took on authors, which we have tried in the past when we first started, in other places, it's really hard to get books there. The cost of postage is very high. There are taxes and import charges on those books, and there's no shops that are going to stock that book. So we want to do the very best for you as our author to make sure that we can get our books to you in a timely and affordable way, and that we've got lots of stockists around you. We do non-fiction books. Now, for those of you who know Womancraft, you will know that we have a couple of sneaky fiction books in our lives. And they were done as experiments. We were set up as a non-fiction publisher. We will always be a non-fiction publisher. Occasionally, a fiction book crosses my path that I know is going to be of great interest to our readership, and that is unlikely to get picked up by a large mainstream publisher. So I have taken them on, but we are primarily set up for nonfiction, and we are not looking for fiction at this time. Our books center women's lived experience and expertise that have a vision for a culture that respects and honors the female and the feminine. Books that break new ground and speak for the silenced parts of ourselves. So our books so far, we've published over 50 books. We've had 3 Nautilus Silvers for 3 of my books. We've had a Nautilus Gold for Home to Her. We've been in the 100 Best Women's Spirituality Books with The Other Side of the River. Sarah has won the Comfy Cozy Book Award for her book Kitchen Witch. And Alice Grist won Kindred Spirit, Mind Body Spirit Author of the Year. So for a little publisher, that's pretty impressive. as I was saying about our Womancraft compendia, what I would say to you is this. I recognize several names here at the call who have contributed already to our previous compendia. And that is a great way that if you submit and I can't take your book on, it is a great way to be published under the Womancraft banner and to build your publications so that when you're approaching other publishers in future, you will have more books under your belt and you will have had work out into the world. So through these compendia, my idea was I was getting frustrated at how few new authors we could take on and how many fabulous women writers were coming our way. And I thought this is a way that we can at least platform voices, new voices especially, under the Womancraft banner. And they've been a tremendous success, tremendously popular. The third one will be out in November. It's called Too Much Woman. And the fourth one's idea just plopped into my head last week. It's so exciting, and submissions will be open for that in June. So I reached out to our authors. We're very lucky that often I get tagged in lovely posts where our authors are saying nice things about us in public, which is a lovely thing because being an author myself and having had a pretty crappy publishing experience myself, and heard plenty of other authors bitching publicly and privately about their publishers, it's very nice to come across people who I work with saying nice things about us. So this was Sophie Messenger, whose book, The Beat of Your Own Drum, came out last year. So just to be really clear, to save your time and mine, what we don't publish is poetry collections, fiction, children's books, memoir as a standalone memoir, previously self-published work, full color or highly illustrated books, books with more than one author, books that are under 30,000 or over 90,000 words, and authors who are outside the US, UK, and Ireland. Now, if you are familiar with our books, and I hope you are if you're going to be submitting to us, because I like to know that people know what we stand for and what we've published already, so that they're aware of how their book will fit in with what we've published already. You will know that many of our books have bits of poetry woven through, have memoir woven through, but none of them are standalone just memoir or just poetry. Likewise, bits of fiction woven through, no problem at all. The occasional illustration, fine, but we cannot and will not take on a book, say a coffee table book, full color photographs. We just won't. So if that's your dream and that's what you've got, we are not the people for that. So please do trust our experience on it. Every year, I cannot tell you the amount of emails I get. Someone saying, "Oh, please, it's a children's book, and it's got to be in color, and I live in France." And I'm like, "Well, no, no, and no." So please do listen to when I say things that are a no are definitely a no. And you might look back in our past and see, oh, actually, you've got a couple of books which had a couple of authors. Yes, we did. And we've decided not to do that in future. So our past is not a guarantee of our future. I just want to be really clear on that. We've chosen these boundaries because they work for us. So what we offer is an experienced team. This is myself and Sarah and my husband Patrick at the London Book Fair last year, where we met with our US distributors and were very excited to see our books prominently displayed at the London Book Fair. It absolutely filled my heart because the last London Book Fair I was at was in 2013 with my husband Patrick, and we dreamed up Womancraft there as an idea that we thought might work because we saw these big soulless corporate publishers and we saw the real life and verve that was in the self-publishing sphere, but how amateurish it can be sometimes, but how the professional self-publishers were doing really well. And we thought, let's bring together our expertise from different fields, my experience as an author and with a publisher that I didn't like, and let's bring that together to create something that there wasn't much of at the London Book Fair, which are small, exciting, independent publishers, which are values driven. So the three of us, I'll just tell you what we do. So Sarah is social media. I am our editor and in charge of our marketing, as well as putting together the compendia, reading through submissions, and then being our face out in the world. Patrick is, he does all of our cover design and internal book layout and design. He's our tech guru, so everything to do with websites and computers, he is on top of, as well as tax and finances. And then we have Lee, who is the fourth member of our team, who, if you've been in contact with the Womancraft office at any stage, she'll be the person answering your emails. And she is our general kind of communications expert. So she's in charge of newsletters and making sure that everything is running smoothly behind the scenes, as well as ordering stock. So that's us. So between us, we've got, between Patrick and I, we've got over 2 decades of experience now in publishing services, working with best-selling books, both as independent editors, layout, as well as with Womancraft. And we are practiced in contemporary marketing techniques that work and have an established social media presence. More of what our authors say about us. This is Carly Mountain, author of Descent and Rising, and her new book, Untamed Pleasure, will be out in June. What is lovely is how many of our authors do come back to us for their second, third, fourth books. And sadly, we can't take all of them on. I've had to turn down a lot of books by returning authors, but it is lovely that people do choose us again and again. Sarah's crazily done it 7 times. So what we offer. First and foremost, we offer a beautiful book. We really value cover art. We work with primarily female cover artists, and really want to highlight and celebrate and fairly pay women artists. And as an author, you have full input on cover art, which, if you've published with anyone else, you'll know is quite rare. Often authors don't even get input on their title. That doesn't happen to you at Womancraft. We work with you shoulder to shoulder, step by step, trying to find and create the best cover for your book that will also really stand well with the rest of our Womancraft books. What we offer financials. So we now offer 30% royalties for the first 2,000 copies. So that those copies include paperback and ebooks. We've had to make this change because we started Womancraft as a very different model to where we are now. When we started, everything was print on demand, and it continued like that until we moved over to our US distributor. We now have a US distributor who holds a huge amount of stock for us to service the US market, which costs us a huge amount to print in advance. And so we've had to change our model to become not like other publishers, but moving closer to them. The average royalty that you would get from most publishers is between 5 and 10%. So although we have brought our royalties down for the first 2,000 copies to help us to be able to cover the print charges, the reality is you're still getting 5 times more than you would be from some publishers and 3 times more than you would from other publishers, and that would be as an established author. We offer 50% on translations and audiobooks, and 70% if you narrate the audiobook yourself, because that is the only place where we do share costs with you. We are not a vanity publisher. We do not ever ask for any money up front. However, with audiobooks, we do share costs with you, and it's not a guarantee that you will get an audiobook from us. It's very much based on how well your book is selling, because audiobooks, although they are wonderful, are a big expense. So that's something to be aware of. When you publish, you get 5 free copies upon publication and unlimited author copies at 50% off that you can sell yourself, you can take to events, and you are making all of the money that you sell them for. You get 20% off all our other books by all of our other authors, so you can stock up on them. You can also sell them on, if you're running an event, you can get books at wholesale for that event as well, once you're buying over 10 copies of them. You get royalties for every book sold from your first payment period. That might seem really obvious, but it's not. Believe me, it's not in publishing. So in standard publishing, what you get with a larger publisher is you will get an advance on royalties. So you will get a payment in advance, and then you may never see a royalty from that publisher, or it may be a couple of years before you get any money from that book. Whereas with us, we do not pay advances, but from 3 months after your book comes out, you will get your first royalty payment, and you continue to receive them quarterly. Again, that's quite unusual in the publishing industry. Most publishers pay twice a year rather than 4 times a year. So for authors, that can be really stressful, living between 6 monthly paychecks, which may never arrive. We don't work with literary agents. That's, again, quite unusual if you're used to larger mainstream publishers who will only work with literary agents, but it's quite common for small and independent publishers. We work directly with you, the author. There's no middleman, so you're not losing 10 to 15% of your income to an agent. What we offer. So yes, we offer more money than any other publishers do, which still feels like insanity. But what we offer most, and what defines us most, is community. Both a community of authors that you become a part of, but also the extensive Womancraft community of podcasters, supporters, who are an incredibly passionate bunch of human beings. We consider it a sisterhood, and we do everything we can to nourish that. And so when you join us, we share that with you, and we share all the opportunities that come our way that we think would be a good fit for you. Again, seems like it should be a kind of a basic, straightforward thing for publishers. No. Often, if you are a first-time author or a small-selling author, once you've been given your month of publicity and marketing, you will often be ignored and dropped like a stone. Whereas we continue year after year, as long as you are with us, to send opportunities your way, to make things happen for your book, to promote your book, to create marketing opportunities for you. I wish it were more common, but it's not. And that is definitely something that we do prioritize, is making sure that you are lifted up as much as you can be by us and the Womancraft community for the length of when you're with us. We offer inclusion in regular promotions, as well as slots in each monthly newsletter to promote work connected to the book. So if you've got a course that's happening, if you're taking part in a summit, if you're at a conference, you can send that along to us and it will go out to all of our Womancraft subscribers. This is another of our authors. This is Bridget Supple, author of one of our very few fiction books, The Birthkeeper of Bethlehem. really hard judging how fast people read. What our customers say about us. As I say, we have passionate customers, and what is so lovely to us is seeing regular names appear from around the world, purchasing direct from us at the Womancraft web shop, pre-ordering our books, and happy dances are had. And that's again something that doesn't happen when HarperCollins sells a book. They don't care. It's just like, how much money have they made? For us, it's something that's really meaningful. And we love our customers as much as they love us. It's a very special thing. So where our books are sold. Big mainstream online stockists, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Blackwell's, paperback and ebook and audiobook. Signed paperbacks from our web shop, worldwide shipping. We're back to shipping to America, which is fabulous. We have found a way around the stinking tariff system. Selected independent retailers via us or via Ingram, and they should be available to order in most bookshops. So even if one of our books isn't on the shelf, if someone goes in to ask for it, bookshops are able to order it in for them. At events, conferences, and then we have a US distributor, Red Wheel Weiser, who are also a publisher themselves. They've been in business for over 100 years now. And they have established trade relationships with thousands of independent bookshops and magical shops and gift shops, as well as with major retailers. So we joined with them in February 2024, and they're an incredibly supportive team. They are just a really good team of humans, because like, we were scared going into business with new folk that we don't know over in America, and it's just so lovely to have an extended team now who are working in marketing and sales, and who are behind our books as much as we are, and bringing them out to the US market. Because although we are based in Ireland, our #1 marketplace is the US, followed by the UK. So it's really important that we've got boots on the ground there in the US. And yeah, so just really good to have the support of that team there. So my life and work is books and publishing. I read a lot of what's going on in the news, as well as living it day to day. So I know how things are. Whereas I know when you're starting out as an author, it's just like, oh, I just want my book published. But books happen in an ecosystem. So I want to give you a little behind the scenes of how things are in publishing in 2026, so that you have a realistic idea of how things are, whether you choose to approach us or another publisher or choose to self-publish. I think it's important to know how the land lies at the moment. So tides are shifting fast in publishing. AI and the continual rise in content, so that is not only publishers putting out a lot more books, but also self-published books coming out. There's over 1 million books being published every year. Go back 10 years ago, that was about 300,000 or 400,000. So a huge amount of content coming out every year, plus all the e-courses and the YouTube channels and the podcasts. People are feeling deluged with information, and we only have so much attention. So it's really important to be aware of this, that we are living in the most incredible time for publishing, in terms of being able to put stuff out without censorship, distribute around the world. All of that is great. But because of the amount of content that is being produced everywhere, we're in a very, very competitive environment. And AI is making it really tricky. You've been working on your book. You've probably been working on that for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You hand it over to us, we do our work, that will take another year, and then we get it out. You can write, lay out, and publish a book using AI in under 24 hours and have it out on Amazon the next day, okay? So that's what we're up against. Handmade, lovingly crafted stuff takes time and resources, and we're up against stuff that is very cheap to churn out. There's a shift in people to online content. We all know it. We're on our phones a lot. So getting people to slow down, pick up a book, concentrate on reading text that they don't need to swipe with their finger, that is tricky in this time. Those of you who follow us know, the US tariffs hit in hard, and that's not just for us, that was for everybody in any sphere trying to ship stuff into the US. Luckily, books are exempt, which we discovered a couple of months into it. So that's great for us. And we have our US distributor on the ground. But the tariffs have created immense economic uncertainty in all fields, again, not just in publishing. So there's a lot of consumer hesitancy at the moment. So actually selling large numbers of books is really tricky. Then we've got, so that's leading to a 5 to 9% decrease in book sales across the industry year on year since 2022. So that's happening, the whole industry, the big boys and us little fish down at the bottom. Decrease in publishing sales, higher print costs as increases in global paper prices because of the war in Ukraine. So a lot of publishers are just shutting up shop, not taking on any new authors. I've seen a lot on social media from authors who have been getting 40, 50, 60, 100 rejections because they're not taking on new people, and often getting lovely emails from editors saying, in another year, we would have taken this, but we are not allowed to take on anyone new. So I need you to be aware of that too. Not only when you're approaching us, but I want to give you the tools to approach other people as well. And so that is something to be aware of, that if you get rejected this year or next year, it may well not be because of the quality of your book, but simply because of where the publishing industry is at the moment. So our response to where publishing is, we have a clear stance on AI. We do not deal in AI. From the work that we do, we have simple spell checkers, but we're not using ChatGPT in anything of our work. And we demand that our authors do not either. It is simply not okay with us. We are a human-made company. Our royalties have dropped down for the first 2,000 copies. We are focusing more now on writers who teach, because we want to have writers who are confident in taking their book out into the world and either teaching in person, attending conferences, leading courses, or teaching online classes. We also do masterclasses for most of our books now. So we need you to be confident in working with this material that's in your book with people, because that's what we found really works. Our writers, who are also teachers, are our most successful writers, hands down. They are the ones who are literally making their living from their books and the teaching that they do around their books. Those who simply gave us a manuscript, helped promote it for a couple of months, and then went back off into other lives to do other things, those books do not sell. So we are saying this for the benefit of you, for the benefit of us, and for the benefit of the work that goes into that book. We need authors with diverse platforms. So we need you to be able to reach out to the people in your sphere, not just through one thing. So we don't just want you to be massive on Instagram and have nothing else, because as we've all seen, things shift fast in the world of social media. So ideally what you have is at least 2 platforms that are engaged with different audiences. So that might be a Substack and an Instagram. It might be a Facebook and a podcast, but we want you reaching people and connecting with people regularly on a couple of different platforms. And we are taking on new authors. unlike the big boys, we are saying it is important that we keep supporting and bringing through new authors, and that is what we're here to do today. So if you can answer yes to these questions, then the chances are you are going to be shortlisted for a book that we take on. But based in the UK, US, or Ireland, you have a well-established community that is growing, 2 years teaching experience in your topic. You've shared your writing or work in numerous avenues, online and offline. So that might be articles in books, that might be contributing to anthologies, it might be professional academic papers. You're willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with us to create the best book we can. So it's not a dump and run process. When you are accepted for publication, there is a solid year's work, maybe a year and a half's work ahead of you to work on that book together as we edit it, as we lay it out, as we correct it, as we design it, as we design the cover, as we plan the marketing, and then as we launch it out into the world. So you need to have the space in your life, the time available to be able to engage with us. I'm not saying you drop the rest of your life and just do Womancraft. We all have responsibilities. Most of us have either full-time or part-time jobs, caring responsibilities. We have other things that we do, but we do need you to be able to have the time, the physical energy, and the health to engage with us. You need to be tech confident. You don't need to be a whiz, but you do need to be able to open Dropbox, find a file, save something successfully, use Word to edit and see our edits. We work online. So all of your interactions with us are going to be via email or Zoom. All of your to-do lists are going to be on Asana. So you need to be reasonably confident using technology because that's how we work. You need to be committed to working with us with clear communication so that there's not all kind of, weird undercurrents happening and not telling us something really important that suddenly comes out 8 months later. We need to be able to clearly communicate with each other to say, I'm sick this week, but I will be okay next week. To say, this wasn't working for me. Can we do this a different way? We need to be able to be adults and communicate clearly with each other. You need a clear vision for your book, what it is, what you want it to do in the world, who it's for. And you need to be open to input from me and the rest of the team. If you're somebody who doesn't like other people telling you what to do, then self-publishing is probably for you. You can lone wolf it, nobody's going to interfere. But if you want a team who are going to support you and help you make your book the best we think it can be, then that's what we're looking for. You don't need to have the full book written. This is quite common for publishers. For non-fiction, we need 3 chapters, a list of contents, and your submission materials. This means that I get to see how you are as a writer, to actually read your writing, to see if it can be sustained through chapters, if you've got a strong voice, a compelling story to tell with that voice. And I get to see your vision for the book, where you think it's going to go, how it's going to unfold chapter by chapter. But then I have the opportunity to steer you in a certain direction without you having to, scrap half the book and rewrite a whole new bit. If you're just submitting 3 chapters, I can say, love this, but we need to steer away from this and towards this. So let's have the next couple of chapters about that. And finally, I need you. And this is actually non-negotiable. I need you to have read at least 2 of our titles. You need to know what we've published, what we stand for, what we celebrate. If you don't have that sense, then how do you know we're going to be a good team for you? How do you know your book's going to be a good fit with us? So publishing timeframe. We publish 4 to 5 times a year. We do it as much as possible on the 8 principal dates of the year. So thinking of the wheel of the year, we've got the spring equinox, we bring one out then. Summer solstice, we bring out one then. And then in the lead up to Christmas, September, autumn equinox, October, Samhain, Halloween, and November. So they are our main publishing slots. 3 of these slots are prioritized to existing Womancraft authors. One is given to the compendium. So we have one left over then for a new author. Our production schedule, Sarah will remember. Sarah joined us back in 2019, I think. And when she joined us, we could turn a book round in 3 months. And that doesn't happen anymore, I'm afraid, because the downside of having our US distributor is that they do things very traditionally. And they have a lovely catalogue that gets mailed out to all of their stockists. And it's beautiful and it's glossy and it's full color and it's got all the description of your book. But that takes a lot of time to put together. So we have to get material to them for their catalogue just over a year in advance. So it takes us 18 months now to get a book ready because we've got to do really fast legwork to get it good enough that we've got a cover, that we've got all the detail that they need for their catalogue. And then we can kind of take a breather and do the last bits a bit slower as we develop our marketing plans and stuff. So it's 18 months. So you're submitting now. We don't have any publishing slots until 2028. So if you have to have your book out by the end of this year, or it has to come out by 2027, we are not the people for you. And I know for a lot of authors, they're like, what, 2 years from now? That's insane. I promise you, the amount of work between now and then, and especially if you've just submitted 3 chapters to me, you're going to have a lot of writing between now and then as well. So our slots are from 2028 to 2030 is what I'm taking people on for now. Submission requirements, email only, nothing by traditional mail. Please submit your personal information and your manuscript as 2 separate Word documents with a brief covering email. Not PDFs, not anything Apple. I can't read that. I'm on Android stuff. No AI at any stage in the process. If you get AI to write your submission for you, you will literally go straight in the bin. I need to know from you as a human how you write, why you're writing this, why this matters. And all of the details that you will need are on our submissions page. So in the submissions pack, you're going to be telling us your name, location, email address, blog or website, your previous publications. So that's like a tiny little author CV. So your main highlights, you know, any books you've published before would be your #1 thing. Any books that you've been published in or contributed to would be the next one. And then underneath that would be articles or guest posts at major places. Brief resume of your other professional experience. That is what relates to your book. So if you've been a primary school teacher for 20 years, great, tell me that, but don't go into any more detail than that. If your book is about sex therapy and you're not a sex therapist, then that might be problematic for me. So I need to know your background as related to your book. The next thing is brief, but I do need to know, where are you at in terms of kids, work, illness, things that are going to take your time and energy. I just need to know little tiny setup. So like if you're a single mother of 10 who's got multiple chronic illnesses and no support network, I kind of need to know that because I kind of need to make a decision that probably now is not the time to be publishing a book. About the book, I need your title and subtitle. They can be subject to change. There'll be things that we work on together. Yoga for Witches, the #1 reason I went for Yoga for Witches, which is Sarah's book, title. I was going through my 50 different submissions. Yoga for Witches, what the hell? That is so intriguing. So that's what pulled me in first and foremost, was that title. So if you can really conceptualize your book in a good title, you've got a really strong hope. On the other hand, Gina Martin, who is one of our fiction authors who submitted about the same time as Sarah, submitted with a totally different title to Sisters of the Solstice Moon. That was something that we came to together. So it's not set in stone, but it can open a lot of doors having a good, intriguing title and subtitle. Summary of the book in about 100 words. So think of, if you've got a book and you look on the back cover of it and it's a little description of what the book's about, that's the sort of thing you're writing for me. So I've got a sense of what's this book about. Use bullet points, great. You know, book is about boom, boom, boom. Much easier for me to read. Tell me how long you anticipate the book being. If you've got no idea, then leave it out. Competing books currently on the market. I want to know that you know where your book fits. So what we're thinking of is, if I'm a bookstore owner, where would I put that book? What section would I put it in? If I was doing a promotional table, which other 3 books would I put on the table with it? That's what we're thinking about. Which books is it related to? What's its family tree? What's inspired it? What's it drawn on? What's it been influenced by? What gaps is it filling? So, for example, if it's like Women Who Run with the Wolves, but she didn't write about this, and this is what I've got in mind instead. That's what I want to know. Intended readership for the book. Who do you think is going to read this? Your working timeline, if the manuscript is unfinished. You know if you're a very slow writer. You know if you've struggled and struggled over those first 3 chapters. You know if you've got an MA that you've got to finish before you can write this book. So be honest for that. Now, this can scare people sometimes, but your author platform and connections. We are not like a traditional publisher where you need to have 100,000 Instagram followers, otherwise we won't look at you. But you do kind of need over 1,000. You know, you need to have a decent number of people who are engaged with your work. We have found that authors with under really kind of 300 followers tend not to enjoy social media that much and tend not to engage with social media that much, and their books tend to struggle because we are not going to be taking you out on a book tour all around the US and England. The way that your book is going to be found primarily is, number one, online via our social media, your social media, other people's social media, and via your teaching and on-the-ground work. So you need to have that. And if you don't have it yet, we have taken on people with smaller social media, and some people have worked really hard. They've been really committed to finding ways to grow it. We have a marketing support woman, Sophie, who is wonderful at supporting and inputting, and we give you a session with her, but you can pay her for more sessions if you need more support and you're willing to do it. But I really need to see that you've started doing that before I say, okay, let's work together. What I don't want is for you to submit your book to me and then say, and I'm going to build a website, and I'm going to start an Instagram page, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. How do I know if you will, if you can, if you haven't already? So we always improve and increase our stuff as we get towards publication, yes, but you need to have taken the first few steps before you approach us. So that might mean that now is not the time that you submit. Maybe it's the next time we open and you focus your energy on building that platform, because every publisher will need that. Give me an idea of your teaching experience as related to the work that's in the book. Ideas and plans for marketing the book. Do you have any? What are they? And this one is really important. Your professional or personal contacts who might or may have already agreed to endorse the book or write a foreword or help you promote it or co-teach it. We need to know that, because again, that really helps books sell. So if you've got several friends who are authors, if you have worked and collaborated with various people who also have good sized platforms, tell us that. That is very influential to me choosing between two good manuscripts. If somebody has contacts, they are more likely to be able to put a book out that will sell. Submit your manuscript in the best possible state you can. Make sure, please, please, that you've proofread it well. I need to see your writing at its best. So either a full manuscript or the 3 chapters and a table of contents. Make sure your name and the title of the book is on the manuscript and on each page as a header, and submit as a Word document. Some do nots. Do not submit cover art. And this isn't me being mean. When I was going around the publishers back in the day with my very first book, I naively sent them like this painting I'd painted that could maybe be the cover. Like, I don't know how many doors that slammed in my face, but I can tell you now, don't do that. We will create the cover together. Don't send us multiple versions. Don't send it on a Friday night, then kind of do some edits and send it again on the Monday morning, and then, oh, I forgot something else and send it on the Wednesday. Please don't. Our time is limited. You get one shot. Don't tell me what to think. That tends to make me quite cross and will get you blacklisted. I get to make the decisions on which manuscripts we take forward as a company. And we are very friendly and kind in our communications, but you will get a growly Lucy if you're kind of like, you know, sending me an email every couple of days. Have you read it? What about this? What? No. You send to us, we acknowledge receipt of it, and then within 6 months, we will get back to you with a really lovely, a really lovely, let's have a chat, or, which I'm not sure has ever happened, yes, 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 don't even need to have a chat, we're taking it on board. So, good, so that's that. So if we're interested in your manuscripts, the first thing you'll receive from us is an email inviting you to a Zoom interview. So it'll be my chance to ask questions that haven't been answered in your submission. So if you get contacted for that, you've got a better than 50% chance of getting an offer. You know, you've reached the absolute pinnacle of the shortlist. And it'll be a chance for you to ask us any questions as well. After that, you will either get an offer or sorry, but no. When we go into publishing, there are 2 possible options. If you've sent us 3 chapters, so we don't have a full book, I will give you what's called a memorandum of agreement. This is my commitment that we have put you in our publishing schedule for the agreed date, and that we will do everything we can to hold that space for you and to work with you, as long as what you provide us is of the quality that we can publish. But we still get a chance to say, if it arrives with us, it didn't go the way it was supposed to, sorry, it's a no. I think that's happened twice in all of our history. If you have submitted a final finished book, which I can see just needs a few tweaks, but no major rewriting, I can offer you a contract there and then. So those are the 2 options you get when you say yes. So the last time we opened it was over 50 submissions for only 3 slots. This time it's 200 for, again, 3 slots. We have had many thank yous for our kind rejection letters. We try to, if we can, if we are engaged with it and would have published it but can't, try and give you some names of other publishers that might be a good fit. We don't promise to do that, but we can sometimes. This is Dear Coco, whose book Digging for Mother's Bones came out last June. Coco's dyslexic. She was told at school that she was thick and she couldn't write. And oh my goodness, I hope you've read Coco's book, because oh my God, the woman can write. She is a powerful writer and a powerful speaker too. I recommend you tune into my podcast, Creative Magic, and find her episode. She is a modern oracle. So we've got two dyslexic authors that I know of. We've got an autistic author, a couple of ADHD authors as well. So we are a place that understands neurodivergence. We have a huge amount of authors also have neurodivergent kids, concurrent health conditions. We understand what life is, and we do our absolute best to be supportive, kind, caring people to work with and work human to human. You are never, ever at Womancraft going to just be a number or, January's book and nobody knows who you are. You are going to have people who care about you, cheering you on and doing our utmost to do what we can for you and your book. And that is pretty unusual in publishing. So submissions open tomorrow. We're bracing the inbox, we're warming it up because we know that the deluge will start, and it closes the day before Valentine's Day. That's our email address for submissions. No exceptions. I'm really sorry, but if you are, if your house is burnt down or you've had a car crash on the 12th, I might say, okay, send it next week. But otherwise, if you don't make it, then it's next time. Submissions will be opened again in 2028. If you don't feel it's ready, don't send it. It's important that you feel it's ready and that you feel you're ready. And it's going to be scary. Like, this process is scary. I understand that. I'm an author myself, and I get that. And the chances are slim to get published with us. But the chances are 0 if you don't submit anything. And you never know unless you try. So I do recommend you take this opportunity to try and to see, and to see how well you can do. See what it feels like to put your work out there, to put yourself forward. I'm aware that we're almost coming up on time, and I want to do questions now. So I'm aware that some people might need to disappear. And if that's you, I'm really sorry. And thank you for being here. The rest, you'll be able to listen to the questions and answers. It's going to be on YouTube, and we're going to email it out to everybody who's on our mailing list and on the submissions special mailing list as well. So it will be out tomorrow. But for the rest of you, we will continue with questions and answers now. So, Sarah, will you grab me people or read me things out?
I will read you things out. And I've just also said, if we do run out of time, you're welcome to drop us a message on socials and we'll make sure everyone gets their questions answered. But for now, message from Sarah is, if one's book is accepted for publishing, who has the rights to the material? Is it the publisher or the author?
So the copyright is always yours. When you sign a contract with us, you are making an agreement that we get the right to publish your work according to the terms of our contract and share with you the money according to the terms of your contract. Then you can get the work back from us after the term that is in your contract. You will not be able to republish that for another couple of years. But then after that, once those couple of years have gone, you can publish it with anybody else. You can self-publish it. But that is standard publishing terms. We don't do anything out of the ordinary in those terms. And you can have a book with us and a book with another publisher. Like Alice has got books with at least 3 publishers, I think. And she's just set up another publishing company of her own. So you can certainly have books with many different publishers on different topics, but you just can't republish exactly the same book at exactly the same time with another publisher or by yourself. That's standard publishing. So yeah.
Lovely. We've got quite a few lovely thank yous and some nice messages from people. Annie Finch, your hand is up.
Hello, Annie.
Oh, yeah. Um, well, I just realized this might not be a necessary question, but I was wondering, your emphasis on the importance of contacts and a network of people who will help promote your book. Um, in listing those contacts, say I had a book and there are a lot of contacts I have in the goddess community, but also other contacts in other communities. Like, do you want to hear about those other communities, or would it only really be within this web of the goddess world
No, I
or
mean,
the
like, some of
Womancraft?
our books are very goddessy and some of them aren't. Like we have
Yeah,
quite a range of books, and no, it's the people who are going to help you get that out into the world. So if one of your friends is a novelist, but is a well-known novelist and is willing to write a foreword to your book, then great. It doesn't matter if
yeah,
she's goddess community or not.
yeah,
It's just that people have contacts and
yeah,
a built network, that they are recognizable,
yeah,
known, and we work on know, like, trust. So people have to know somebody and like them before they will trust them and spend their money. And therefore, if people recognize somebody's name and that person is saying, this is a good book, I
yeah.
recommend it, it doesn't matter what field they're in. We need the
Okay, yeah,
people who know and like and trust the people who
yeah.
are endorsing your
So,
book.
so we're pushing outward as well as
Yeah.
inward. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That's something actually that I didn't say. We work in ripples. That is how Womancraft works. Because we are small, but we are mighty. So your book starts, and it's like dropping a stone, a pebble into the water. And the first ripple of people will be our people and your people who will buy the book, who will hear about the book, who will tell their friends about the book, and that will ripple out to another group of people. And then people might then go into a bookshop and ask for it. And that bookshop owner, who might never have heard of it, will stock it in their book and put it on their display. And other people who don't know us and don't know you will see that book and they will buy it and they will recommend it to their friends. And another ripple opens up. And then their friends might start a book club and read that book with their friends and they will share it. That's how we work, on sharing and community and building up those ripples, doing as much as we can to make a beautiful ripple that will continue outwards through circles upon circles of women, further and further from our reach. But first, it starts with us. And that's why it is important that you have a community around you already who know you, who trust you, who will support you. Because that's what you're bringing to the table. We're bringing ours, you're bringing yours, and we create a beautiful community party to get that out into the world.
Beautiful. So that is all the questions we have so far. I
What?
I
Come
know it's
on,
good, isn't it?
people.
But I'll be manning social media over the next. Well, I'm always manning it. But if you have any questions and you want to drop me a message on the Womancraft Instagram, I can quickly answer any questions that kind of come up. But it was a very comprehensive presentation, Lucy. So it was just obviously so good. Everyone's questions have been answered, which is great.
I mean, maybe I bored them into comas. It was a lot of information.
It's
It was
nice. It's
wonderful.
information is power. Information is
Yes.
power.
It's
And that's
so
what we
well
work on.
done.
Like we're an open book, and I think we're pretty nice human beings, really, and we pride ourselves on that. We pride ourselves on relationships and transparency and kindness and fairness, and we're not perfect and we get cranky, but like we care about what we do and why we're doing it. And I think that shows. I think that shows in our books. I think that shows in our social media. I think that shows to anybody who comes across us. And so when we reach out our hands and welcome you into the sisterhood with your book, I hope you feel that too. Oh, what a
This is
lovely bunch of comments
beautiful.
coming in. Thank you. They're all thank you.
Lots of beautiful thank yous. Appreciate comprehensive, honest, and authentic. Absolutely. And it's just so lovely to see you all. So thank you all so much for coming and bringing bringing your energy and hope and positivity. So exciting.
So go polish your manuscripts, read it one more time before you hit send, read it another time, pray over it, bless it, do a spell, manifest all the good juju, do all the things, do all the spiritual stuff, all the practical stuff, get your ducks in rows, and then send it to me. Yeah. And I wish you all the very best of luck. I can see so many faces here that I know and am familiar with from the compendium, from our from the Womancraft web shop, from social media. And my heart's already like, oh God, I'm not going to be able to say yes to all of them. And I'm really sorry. Like that, I genuinely need you to know that the worst part of my job is saying no. And I have to do it hundreds of times a year, and it breaks my heart. But please know that a no is not a rejection of you. It is not that you are a failure or your book is a failure. It's just it might be not this time. It might be not this book. It might be it's not a fit for us. There's 100 reasons, but it's not that you as a human being or you as a writer are bad or wrong. And I need you to know that first and foremost, because the worst part of being a creative is having your creative work that you've put your heart and your soul and your time and your energy into rejected. It just is the worst. So I'm sorry that many no's are going to come your way, and I'm very excited that some yeses are going to come your way too. So I look forward to seeing your work. Thank you for being here, for your time, and I'm off to watch The Traitors now. Take care.